The gecko then flicked his tongue a couple of times, presumably assessing the air for scents, and then quite rapidly ran along his hand, up his arm, to rest upon his shoulder, looking around from his new vantage point as if Giallo was some kind of moving shrub. The gecko then continued to flick the air with its tongue, apparently satisfied with its view around from its new perch, and looked directly into Giallo's eyes, waiting for him to do something or say something. When Giallo failed to do anything interesting, the gecko then scuttled down the arm again back onto its bush. You see, everything is friendly here, Scout said, smiling at Giallo. Now you understand a little more, Giallo Chosen. All the animals are similar to that one. We call that one little bush lizard. There are many bush lizards, some small, some big. We'll probably see more. If you want to make friends with them, you can. Bush lizards don't mind, but sometimes they are too busy to make friends. Giallo accepted this with a shrug of the shoulders, there being not much more to say on the subject. If this bush lizard was representative of the animal population in general, it certainly exhibited no fear of the human population. Presumed it was due to the animals never being preyed upon by humans, and therefore not recognizing them as potential predators. Though the behavior exhibited by the lizard and Scout's statements hinted at went further than this. However, more empirical study would have to wait for a later date when he'd had more time to carefully study it. For now, he'd just have to accept Scout's word that the animal life on Hope was friendly. We go back now, see how much work the farmers have done so they can tell us all about it. Scout smiled back at him. Yes, we go back now. Giallo found himself naturally falling in with Scout's unusual pattern of speech. That was another oddity. They shared the same common language root. Surely speech pattern, grammar, and structure should also be the same. I was, of course, assuming that they were speaking. But then, if they weren't speaking and it was telepathy, then language patterns should be identical. Yet another mystery to solve. Giallo would soon have to start prioritizing which problem we'd attempt to solve first. In the meantime, we'd better follow Scout to the settlement. Scout led them rapidly across the open terrain before them. It did seem that the soil moss was restricting the growth of the other plants. It certainly made traversing the terrain easier. The bushes and shrubs and other plants were so scattered that it made picking a relatively straight and even path easy. Giallo was suddenly brought up short, and the Scout raised his hand in the air. Now you be careful, this wrong plant. He not so friendly. He have berries which are not good to eat, and thorns which are not good to the touch. The Scout pointed at the bush, which was shorter than most of the others, and the thin bark on its stem was slightly red in hue. Whilst the thorns on it were relatively small, they did look sharp. Thank you. I'll try to be careful of that bush, responded Giallo.